none of that can prepare you to actually being on set with Olivia Coleman.
Olivia Coleman stars in Sam Mendes' most autobiographical movie today. It opened at the Toronto International Film Festival to rave reviews. Sam wrote this in lockdown while he was reflecting on his own childhood and growing up and what his mother went through. Before we hear from Olivia, Michael and Sam, I'm Max, this is Flip Your Wig. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss a video and make sure you subscribe. Welcome along to all the new subscribers. It's so nice to have you part of the community. There are loads of videos on here for you to enjoy. Ana de Armas, who's playing Marilyn Monroe in the new Blonde movie. Check out her inspiration, what she did to kind of prepare for that role, and also how daunted she was about taking on that task. And you can check out Olivia Wilde and the gang from Don't Worry Darling, talking all about that film and what we can expect. There's been so much gossip and hype around her dating Harry Styles, falling out with Florence Pugh. She addresses the Florence Pugh situation as well. So after you've watched this video, make sure you hit play on that video too and let me know what you think.
Phil, it's just static frames with darkness in between.
Let me tell you about this film, Empire of Light. It explores mental health at a time it wasn't understood or talked about at all. I'm talking about the 80s alongside shocking racism. Olivia Coleman plays Hilary Small, a duty manager for theatre who's recovering with poor mental health. Everything changes when Stephen, played by Michael Ward, a young black man, begins working at Empire. The film isn't out till the 13th of January in the UK, but it is going to be showing at the London Film Festival in October, and I can't wait to watch it. Right, let's hear from the cast.
It's personal without being autobiographical, which is quite a difficult thing to explain, you know. The main part of it that's personal is the journey of Olivia's character, Hilary, is loosely based on the journey of my mother, which is a journey through mental disintegration to the point where she put herself back together again, and it's a sort of cycle, which I think a lot of people who've dealt with mental health issues, either themselves or with family members, have witnessed that cycle of medication, coming off medication, elation and hyper mania, effectively, and then a crash. And I think it's one of the things that's very rarely talked about properly in movies or elsewhere, and there's still a stigma about mental illness, I think. It tends to be brushed under the carpet. So that was something that had haunted me since a child. I grew up with it, and it was very much part of my life and part of why I am who I am, and I ended up doing what I'm doing. But then it was combined with a number of other things. The period, which is when I was effectively Stephen's age, the early 80s, the music that defined me, the movies that defined me, the way that popular culture offered me an escape from what was going on at home, offered me a way out, as it often does with people, art, a way out of crisis. And it was a time also when my racial opinions and racial politics were very divisive at the time, as they still are in many ways. And all of these things were going around my head during lockdown when I tried to write the script. Period of self-examination, as all of us did, that feeling that maybe all of this was gone. Maybe we'll never be here all sitting together in a dark room watching a story. Maybe that was it, and maybe we didn't know how lucky we were while we had it.
Someone comes into her world with a brain and a future and beauty, and it's like this sparkling light comes in and you can't take your eyes off him, and you can see why she's drawn to him, and she sort of forgets what he might see, but for some reason he doesn't see what she's worried he'll see. He sees a kindred spirit, or a mind, and a gentleness, and I just love the fact that they have this friendship and this relationship. It's not what you'd all imagine would happen, and it is something beautiful that they have between and it's never going to last, but it's a lovely moment that they will both cherish forever, and they learn from it, and I love it.
We had some rehearsal time at the start, but then so Sam shoots everything chronologically, and as you know, I appear like sort of 2/3 of the way in. So actually I met Michael at the start during rehearsals, and then I went off to do another job, and then showed up on set about a month and a half, 2 months later or something. Sam looked surprised to see me. I think he forgot that he'd casted me. What are you doing here? So I think, you know, I'm a mum of a teenager who's, you know, and she's at an age where she's transitioning to another period of her life, which is quite significant. And this is very much what's happening with my character and with Michael's character. And so I think, I mean, those things, we just kind of, I think we spend a lot of time just looking into each other's eyes, didn't we, and just kind of playing the moment. Just being good scene partners.
So if I run the film at 24 frames per second, it creates an illusion of motion. An illusion of life. So you don't see the darkness. Out there, I just see a beam of light.
For me, I obviously knew that, you know, I was going to be working with some amazingly talented people, so I just wanted to prepare. So I remember when I got the job, when I got back from filming somewhere else, I messaged Sam and I said, I need to sit down with you and talk about this character and talk about how I can, you know, get into it. And we done that. We spoke about everything. And I had my acting coach, Gary Nurse, who was working very, very intensely, just trying to figure out the period, you know, listening to the music, watching a lot of the films that were in the screenplay. And yeah, man, just kind of just going over the scenes to just let the words sink in. I think that was a lot of the work for me. But none of that can prepare you to actually being on set with Olivia Coleman and Sam Mendes and Roger Deakins, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah,
and Tanya Moodie, by the way. So yeah, for me, it was just being so prepared so that I can allow myself to be present. And I felt like that was definitely it.
Okay, so it's called Empire of Light. At the moment, it's due to be released in the UK 2023, 13th of Jan. I feel like that's too long to wait. I'm such a big fan of Olivia Coleman, and I think Michael Ward is super talented as well. And for him to have had that opportunity to work with someone like Olivia at this point in his career is awesome. And this is really personal to Sam Mendes. The character that Olivia plays is sort of based on his mum, which is pretty big to do. That's sharing something really close and personal as a director and a writer. So I'm intrigued to see what the world makes of it when it's finally released in the new year. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Have a great day, and I'll be back soon. Bye.